Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome to episode 3
episode 3
of Ebony and Ruth
How far?
podcast. Ade, how is that?
I define.
You did fine. I did fine.
I define.
What do you define? I did fine. Do you know what that means? I'm looking for something. I did fine.
I define.
Once you use a different accent with pidgin English, you could be saying something else.
Nago.
Now you're speaking Igala.
Mm-hmm.
Ayagbo. Sholafia.
Shulafia.
Agba.
Nago.
Nago. Yeah, that's what she had to do. When we went to Nigeria, we actually went to Nigeria to see my...
This is the second time.
Yeah, the second time. You were there...
From many, hopefully,
yeah.
future times and trips.
You were there in 2019 and then last year, 2022.
2022, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Because we went there, celebrated Zane's first birthday, which is huge in Nigeria normally.
Yes.
His first birthday. And we got to celebrate it there with his grandparents, which is amazing. And then also he got to see, or our great grandparents got to see our children.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just incredible. Wow. That was just, whew, I cannot put words to it because it's just, it goes so deep. But I think we should have like a talk about how it was for us traveling to Nigeria. And both of the times were very different. The first time I was pregnant, everything was good, did not have malaria. And the second time we all caught malaria. And it was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also different because we had 2 kids, but at that time also.
Yes, we did.
So,
but I think we're going to talk about traveling to Nigeria, like both trips, the experience of it, planning process. Yeah, there are people that probably want to know more about that.
See,
but I think that's a whole podcast, for itself. Like
that's why it is important that you guys follow us.
Mm-hmm.
Follow us on YouTube.
Learn a lot of stuff about traveling.
Yeah.
You've been thinking, wait, I've been hearing so much about Nigeria, but I would like to visit.
Yeah.
It's not visa free for you guys.
No. But that's why
a lot of countries are visa free for you guys. For Nigeria, you need visa.
That's why you need to follow us on our Instagram, our YouTube, on Spotify, hopefully soon Apple Podcast too. But follow us.
To stay tuned.
And to stay tuned about news and things that you can learn.
Very cool information.
And we love to just be in contact with you guys. There's been a couple of you guys that reached out to us asking for advice. And we try to be there. Sometimes we just have a very busy schedule.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but we cannot reply to everyone. But we try to reply to everyone as much as we can. So yeah, but stay tuned, guys. And if you don't have a coffee yet, or a cup of tea, or soda drink, or smoothie, because we want to be healthy, or you have not tuned in on your way to work, then you better do that right now, because we're gonna continue with our love story.
Our love story. I mean, at this point in time,
it's gonna be marriage story.
Everything is a love story in a way, but we're talking now about settling in Germany, because we took you guys through the journey of us getting to know each other and moving to Germany, and now we want to start with life in Germany. After I returned with the family reunion visa,
and let me tell you, it will hit you hard. It will not come slowly. It will hit you hard, eh? Hey. My people, I love you, but I will hit you hot, like chili pepper.
Like chili pepper.
Like
hot pepper.
Hot pepper in pepper soup from the finest and hottest place.
What are you talking?
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, guys.
It's so late right now. I think it affects my wife already. But anyway,
add a coffee.
Let's do this before you fall asleep. Let's start talking. Whatever.
Yeah. You know this word or this phrase, müde.
Yeah, müde. Yeah, in German, it means that you're so tired you start acting
silly. Yeah. So I'm sorry, guys. Heads up. It can maybe come out here and there. But yeah, that's what makes this podcast so
Fun.
fun. You
Yeah.
know, it's us. This
True.
is how we literally are.
Yeah.
My husband is the reasonable one.
You're also reasonable. But you can be weird sometimes.
He's
I
the
think it's good for me
straight
sometimes
one.
because I take a lot of stuff too serious, and then she comes in with her weirdness.
I
Sometimes.
have a lot of weirdness.
So there are days where I can handle it, and some days I'm like, just leave me alone. Leave me alone.
I would just.
But,
oh my goodness! You know this. I sometimes would just wake him up in the mornings and then do like this. Hi, honey. How do you? How do you like me? I love you too.
Just the weirdest things.
I do the weirdest things. Seriously, I'm the weirdo in here in this family, but it's okay.
That's
I stand for it.
Good weirdo. God mostly knows what you need in your
It's
life
funny.
before the sense it.
I think it's gonna be funny for a lot of people that are listening to this podcast that know me, because they don't know me this way.
I mean, there are other ways. That's the thing. There's some ways that only your partner gets.
Yeah. But it's so because people it now comes into my mind. People that are actually watching this, they're like, "Wait, I've never seen her like this. Yeah. Like she's always serious." Because when I'm around people, and mostly when we both out, he's the outgoing one, and I'm the more ingoing.
Just go.
I'm more the,
talking about literal opposite. Yeah, I mean, you're correct. You can either be outgoing or ingoing.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
As long as you're going somewhere.
Exactly.
The introverted or the quiet one.
I would be the quiet one, the introverted one that is more focused on the kids at that point. But they don't really get to see that weird side of me most of the times. I try to hold it down in the public.
But they do know that you are also open and outgoing in a way.
In a way.
Yeah.
But not weird.
No, not weird. I'm also weird too in my own way, so I think our weirdness come together and combine together.
That's why God knitted us and brought us together.
And for the weirdness.
Made us one. Oh, by the way,
be weird and multiply.
By the way, people, we love you. For those that are watching us, we are sorry.
It's not to be sorry.
Okay. We are not sorry. Sorry, but not sorry.
So today we decided to rock our pullovers, but they're rumpled. They're not ironed.
A rumpled pullover. This is the rumpled pullover club.
That's like a sin. It's like a sin in Nigeria. To wear
that's the sin of the sin.
To wear rumpled clothes, you have to iron everything. Meanwhile, in Germany, people don't really care about the iron that much. People don't care about. Yeah, it's actually there are some that are so extreme. They put on this. This long sleeve shirts that is rumpled. I'm like, just ironed.
No, okay, I'm not that extreme. No, but to be honest, I do not iron my socks.
I do not iron my socks
or
either.
Other things.
There are people who do, I guess.
There are people that have the time to do this. I do not have the time for it. So I'm sorry, but not sorry. So yeah, just that you know.
Yeah, so today we're just rocking our rumpled pullovers. So it's pullover night.
So,
but anyway, life in Germany.
How was it for you?
For me,
the first time being in Germany.
The first time was when I was with your parents.
Yeah, but when you then finally arrived, and then it was no longer with my parents, it was just us. And at some point, like during the days, you had to be mostly alone because I had to go and work.
Yes.
So how was it for you? Tell me.
The first year, 2017, when I came back, I couldn't work yet. First of all, you wait for your residency card to come in. Once you come here with your visa, you go to the immigration office, and then they process your residency card.
After spending a lot of money.
With that, I wouldn't say a lot of money, but some money. With that, you can work and do whatever. So I was waiting for that. But the fact that you have that does not mean that you automatically have a job. It doesn't come with a job ticket. It just tells you allowed to work. Now I'm going to get the job. Good luck. So I didn't
Kicking
have
your butt.
I didn't really have German knowledge that
Mm,
much. I had some because I had been learning back in Nigeria, but I didn't have enough to work with.
yeah,
So the next step would be to learn the language. But that didn't happen that year because we were planning the wedding and other stuff for
yeah,
that year.
mm,
So the first, I would say, month was a bit lonely. I would say because I didn't know anybody,
yeah,
didn't have friends, anything. But I'm so used to this solitary life that it didn't really feel like it was lonely. I just knew that I didn't have much people around me.
yeah,
Because you would have to work,
yeah. Sometimes
um,
crazy hours,
yeah, like long,
long,
and I
and
would be at
sometimes
home,
not.
and I did some music. Like I did quite some music through that period.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have music, so I would record stuff, and did some learning online, just some stuff, online. But it was not easy that first period. It was quite lonely. Um, but then we had the wedding in November,
yeah,
and
that
time
was
time
beautiful.
just easily time flies so fast.
After that, actually, we got our first car.
Oh yeah,
No, before.
before we crashed it.
Yeah, we got our first car before our wedding, our white wedding, and
First
then
car,
we crushed it
what was
two
the first
days
car?
after.
That was a
Our
Mercedes
class,
A class,
A class, yes.
A class, like the older ones,
Those
not the fun.
grandpa, those grandpa cars. That's how we call it here in Germany.
We
I don't
got it
know about
for
the
how
other.
much did you buy it for? I think for 500
Yeah,
bucks.
400, 500, something around that.
I was so excited. Our first car here.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was quite
crazy.
interesting.
Yeah.
So we got it, and then after the wedding, I was trying to drop some people off at the airport, and
No, okay, not like that, but
I was going around the curve, and it was wet on the road, and somehow I was going too fast, and
pushing the
so
brakes also.
pushing the brakes while turning, and so we had a skid, a very fun skidding
On the
experience.
highway. On the
Thank God
highway.
when we had the crash and everything, there was nobody really. There was no car coming, nothing.
I mean,
Everything was
the
just.
one after us
Mm.
also.
Oh yeah, I wasn't the only one. Apparently, there was another one that came
Yeah.
around, so I had the same experience. It was
Yeah.
like a team in the whole thing.
So
So
while we were trying to drop off our friends at the
yeah, at the
airport,
airport that
so they had
happened,
to call a taxi
and we
taxi
had to
to
stay back.
yeah.
Yeah,
Man, it was
yeah.
crazy
So we
wild.
lost that car. I mean, we I could sell it for $100, so I lost $400.
Yeah.
But that's how the year was. It was nice. I mean, we also got another car. I think before the year ended, right? Or the
Yeah,
next year.
no, even within the same month, I
Yeah,
think we got a
we
new car because your
yeah.
mom arrived also, so we had to be
That's true. She
able to
arrived
in
in
November
November, so we
as
had to
well.
be able to pick her up.
Yeah.
So got another car, a bit more expensive, quite expensive. That was like a thousand
More.
bucks. No, 1,000,
So,
exactly 1,000.
okay.
So that was like double the previous
But
price.
it lasted a long time.
It
If you
did.
think about it.
That one lasted. I
2017,
didn't crash that one.
2018.
I learned my lesson.
I crashed it, got a
Oh yeah,
scratch,
you did.
and I cried and bawled my eyes
I was
out.
like, "Bro, I'm so sorry. I crashed it." I was like, "It's okay. It's
So that was 2017, 2018, 2019. So 3 years, less than 3 years.
It did last for a bit. Started making some funny sounds. That was quite embarrassing. I'm telling you. I will put this car on, and this car will wake up the whole neighborhood. Like an announcement that I was trying to
People
drive.
knew that it was our car. It was so embarrassing.
I was like, "Shut up, shut up." Who asked you to?
You know
So,
this experience when you're in this car and you have the steering wheel in your hands
yeah,
and then it makes the sound. You just smack that steering wheel as if this is gonna do something, but you just smack it. It's like,
we
shut
were
up,
so
shut
loud,
up.
so embarrassing, but we didn't have any other option. So most times I would wait until I felt like there was nobody around before I would kickstart the car because it was so freaking loud. But anyway, before then,
We made it
yeah, we
all
did.
on a own without
Yeah,
having to take
we didn't have much help
credits
that period.
or
No,
no help, because my parents were just trying to get their feet up.
after the house,
Yeah, after the house loss and everything. So like they couldn't help us much. Your family couldn't help us much.
I mean, they could
Like
help a lot during the wedding with the setting up
yeah,
and support and everything.
my
But
family, yeah.
yes, but yeah, to start our life, it wasn't really much.
I mean, once in a while they really try to support us also in there. Thank you for that. We appreciate that really much. But it
So
was
yeah, I felt like we had to start from scratch in a way.
yeah.
So the next
Started
year,
from the button over here.
next
Start
year,
from a button, start from a button over here. Hey, sorry. Come
are you
on.
gonna sing a song for every?
Yes, honey. Why am I always the one singing the songs when
Yeah,
you're the musician in this family?
yeah. I don't know. The song that just doesn't come to mind yet. But the next year, 2018,
Yeah,
that was the year I started
yeah,
the German language school,
yeah.
and it was tough.
It was tough, huh?
Yeah.
It was really tough.
First of all, I mean, God made a way for us in different ways that we had people supporting us
Yeah.
because we couldn't really afford
Thank you,
the
Jesus.
fees. So we have close friends and family just supporting us during that process. It really helped us a lot. So we had some money coming in, for my language school. And it was tough because Germany is not a very easy language to learn. And I used to believe that I was dumb when it came to languages because I tried to learn French when I was in Nigeria and I failed terribly. Man, I failed so much. I was so shocked at my own failure. So I never really tried to learn languages anymore.
Mm.
So I never knew that there was German waiting for me in my future.
Meanwhile, your mother can speak different languages.
She's gifted in
She's
that.
very
Yeah,
gifted, which you have on your life too. So
I never thought so, but yeah. I had to learn the language in 2018, and it was really intense. For those of you that are learning German right now, you understand what I mean, and for those that have learned it, you also understand what I mean. But yeah, it was a couple of months of learning German, learning the different articles and different weird stuff that confused the heck out of me. And I would always ask in the class, Warum? Warum is that so? Warum? Warum? At some point, my teacher was so tired of hearing the word Warum that she was like, Es gibt kein Grund, es gibt kein Warum, es ist einfach so. I was like, okay. Just, she couldn't explain any reason for me. I was like, okay, I guess we just have to memorize all this stuff. Because there was no way to really know which fit where. And I would ask my wife, I'd be like, do you know why this is? She was like, I don't know. I learned the language as a mother tongue. I never really had to question what was and what wasn't
I
in
mean, we
that
still
case.
learn the grammar at school, but I've forgotten by now. If I don't, I mean, if I read into it, I would probably understand accusative, dative,
Nominative.
nominative, and all that kind of stuff,
Genitive.
and genitive. But it's been a very long time, hearing about those things. And so of course, if you read into it, you would understand it. But right now, I just tell you, okay, this sounds right, and that's why it is like this. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that
I
was my,
wasn't much of a help.
yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
it was so good that she was working because at least we had some kind of money coming in during that period of time. It was
Yeah.
tough, but it was good to have her support. And
How did it feel like at that time? Then finally, you would, meet also others in class, and you would be out. Like you would go by bus back and forth to the class, and you meet people there. How did it feel for you? Did it felt like okay, you finally can connect with some people, or like
I couldn't really connect like make become best friends. But I think it was better for me because I didn't have to be stuck at home
yeah,
like I was the previous year.
yeah.
I could go somewhere and see people. We would all struggle together, to learn the language. And by God's grace, I was like, one of the best in the class.
Man, he crushed it. He crushed everybody. This guy was like, he doesn't look just smart with his glasses, but he is smart, and he crushed it, and he was really good.
Yeah,
Really
thank
good.
God for that. Yeah, I actually, was able to finish with very good grades. And that was the B1 level.
Mm,
And I knew that I had to do like the B2
yeah,
level. But even within that time, I was trying to apply for a job already.
yeah,
You know, so I was applying for a job in the area of just web design because I had experience in that
yeah.
graphic design. But for some reason, nobody was calling me back or like giving me the opportunity. Could be because of my level of language knowledge, or I don't know why, but somehow they seem to be looking for people that could not just design, but also
Program.
program. And I had no experience in programming. So when I discovered
Yeah,
that they were looking
crazy.
for more of that, I was like, so how do I do this? So one time I got a call. I didn't really look at the job description properly. I just saw web design and I applied. I got a call back. My first ever
Call back
call
after
back.
months and months and months and
Yeah,
months of applying in the same region. You're like, okay, screw this. I'm just gonna apply for the whole Baden-Württemberg.
that's correct. I was applying first in my region, didn't get a call back, then I applied further.
Yeah,
How many hours?
2, 3 hours,
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Yeah.
I applied there, got a call back. I was surprised. She was talking to me over the phone. She's like, I see that you have B1 level
Mm,
of knowledge. Yeah, that's what I have. She was like, yeah, but the way you speak is quite okay and quite good, like more than the level of your certificate. I was like, yeah,
mm,
thank you. I practice quite a bit.
mm,
So she was like, I see that you live further from us.
mm,
What's the plan?
mm.
If you get the job, are you going to move? And back then, we were not even thinking.
Twice.
No, we're not even thinking about moving at
Okay.
that point in time,
Yeah, I mean, yes, because we just settled in church, and you started to help out a lot at church.
I was pastoring there.
You pass.
I
I
was also
mean, not yet.
from the beginning. I mean, no, at the beginning, I was just leading worship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
then at
then,
some point when Pastor Masil took over, you would help, but that was more towards.
I mean, it was still
Yeah,
2018.
it was still 2018. Anyways, you were helping out. I was
Yeah.
helping out, so it would try quite involved in this new baby that we've helped somehow.
Hmm.
And so we're not really thinking of moving somewhere
Hmm.
somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get this call. This lady is like, okay, let's have an interview. Drive there together.
Yeah, we went there together.
You have an interview. The same day, like, oh yeah, can you do Probearbeiten?
Because they were asking me. That was when I realized that I actually applied for the wrong job, wrong import.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were like, yeah, I mean, we saw you can program right in PHP. For those that program don't know what PHP is, but I was like, yeah, PHP, yeah, sure,
Oh
because
Lord, have
I
mercy.
didn't want to just lose this. Because this was my only callback I got, so I didn't want
Yeah.
to lose this opportunity. So I was like, and then they were like, okay, cool. So we're gonna do a tryout now. Are you ready to just go and show us what you can do? In my mind, I'm like, if you do this right now, you're gonna flop the whole thing. So I was like, no.
My wife is waiting in the car. Thank God I was really waiting in the
Even she
car.
was waiting in the car, but she didn't really. She wouldn't have
No,
minded me staying and
no.
doing the tryout or whatever. But I had to use her because I didn't know what to do then.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, my wife was waiting in the car. I can just let her wait. I have to drive her back home. So that was a Friday. I was like, let's do this on a Monday.
So he had Friday, Saturday, Sunday to get prepared for Monday.
To get prepared for my tryout. So I go back to my wife, drive her home. But I knew that I couldn't learn how to program in just 2, 3 days.
Yeah.
So I mean, the whole thing is a miracle by itself. But how it happened is just interesting. So I go back home, download a template, a code template.
My husband is very smart. Seriously,
I don't know
the
that. Like I wouldn't
ways.
really give credit to myself in this case because I think God just wanted me to get that job. It
Yeah.
was so silly how I tried to do the tryout, but I went home and I downloaded a template, like a programmed template, and I went there. And so they gave me a design, and they're like, "Hey, you can program right." I was like, "Yeah, program this design into a website from scratch." So you're not gonna do any click and drop like WordPress. No, you're gonna program the stuff, right? Like it's gonna be all code, from design to website.
Did you have any knowledge in
Nope,
coding?
nope.
Not at all. Not even in your studies.
I mean, we learned some HTML, but we didn't program it from scratch. No, no.
Okay.
Like we had some tools that would generate
Mm.
HTML code from the
Mm.
design, but we didn't write from scratch.
Mm.
So they were like, "Yeah, I do that." I mean, I was sweating from every. I didn't even know that I could sweat from some corners. Like I was sweating from everywhere. I didn't
Ew.
say anything about what corner. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Ew.
You imagining different corners, but
That was
anyway.
too much details.
And I was just sweating, you know. So I was like, "Hey, does the programmed website have to really look like the design?" And they were like, "I mean, no, it can look different."
Wait, can we just stop there for a minute and just realize the grace of God that was just upon this whole thing? The fact that he just, no, seriously, he granted you so much favor
Yeah, it was favor.
and so much grace. Like, it's crazy if you think about it. I'm like, I don't even know if I would have had that much luck, or like, it's
I
not
don't know.
luck, it's
I don't know.
favor. So the fact that they're like, oh no, you know, it has to look similar, but you can do some few changes, of course.
Mhm.
And you just there having a template, and then
So when they were like, "Yeah, it can look different. We just want to know that you can program." So I pull up my template that I took from home. I just put in all the text that they gave me from their design into the template.
Mm.
And of course, I was done in a short period of time. I showed them, you know, they were super impressed with the end product. They're like, "What? Like this looks so good. You did this?" And like I didn't know whether to lie or not. I was like, "There's no way I can say I didn't do this." I was like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, so they were they were impressed, but in my mind, I'm like, "That's the only way I'm getting this job is
by the grace of God.
by the grace of God." Because right now, I'm lying through my teeth. Like didn't really, I didn't really have enough
Yeah.
of the skills, So I was just trying to fake it
Until you make it.
until I make it. I was trying to fake it, but I was quite confident in the way I faked it.
Really, a real Nigerian. You are a real Nigerian.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if yeah. But anyways, like he was just all in, and the effort and the pursuit of trying to get this job is
Mhm.
just admirable, because I don't know if I could have done it your way.
Mhm.
I mean, I did it in my own way by being honest.
Yeah.
And being like,
I mean, I
have
wouldn't
anything to
recommend
give.
that way for anybody. For me, that's the way I took at that point in time, and I don't think it's the best way. But somehow,
God.
God just showed me favor
Yeah.
in that sense. But after I did that,
Mm.
they liked it and they're like, "Hey, we want to have you."
Yeah. So how soon can you be here?
How soon can you start? But I knew at that point in time that I couldn't keep on faking it, because I needed more time to rehearse, practice, learn.
Yeah.
So they wanted to take me immediately, but I was like, "Nope, just give me 3 months. I need to go back
Do my B2.
and do my B2 language course, which I was going to do anyway. But I still needed more time to really learn how to program, because at some point they'll know that you can't. So I went back. So while I was doing my B2 German language course, which is intense, people
It's
that have done it,
tougher.
it's way tougher
Yeah, way
than the
tougher.
previous ones that I had done.
Mm.
So the B2, yeah. While I was doing that, I was learning how to
Program.
code, how to program. So I had
From
to,
scratch with no background in it. I'm like completely mind blown about this. First of all, you're in a country where you don't know the language. You have to learn the language. You even have to learn more of the language so you can communicate better and have conversations with clients, future clients, which you didn't know at that time. And then you start coding after coming back from an intense class. And you come and sit down and you code.
Yep.
You learn coding from scratch.
every day.
Having no idea where to start from. And it's not like somebody's teaching you. No, you're teaching yourself via YouTube and other websites. I'm like, how crazy is this?
Mhm.
And now, honey, what are you doing now?
That's what I'm doing. I'm programming now. Like,
You have your freaking own company.
oh yeah, I have my own company now.
We started our own company.
Yes,
And
yes.
we do websites
but
and
for-
program them
yeah, I mean, we build online shops now. We
Yeah.
program them. Yeah,
with EPR system.
ERP.
Yeah, ERP.
EPR.
Sorry. I'm still going there.
With ERP systems. Yeah.
So like I'm
But it's a whole journey for us.
it is.
From
But the
there
fact
to
that
now. Yeah.
you are here now. And that's you started this job in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. That's
So within 5 years.
within 5 years, you make yourself like self-employed.
I went from
being employed
an employee to an employer. Yeah.
Yeah, from next month on.
Mm-hmm. My first employee. My first employee.
But it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like how far that you like no
like for those in the States, so we have our own company. It'd be like a LLC in the States or PLC in Nigeria, but in Germany it's a GmbH. And that was like a whole step for us.
A big deal.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, that's another podcast.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say with this whole thing is that he learned this from scratch, by himself in our small little apartment.
Oh, yeah. Thank God for understanding, because it was a struggle in the beginning.
Man, I would pray.
To learn. Thank God for also your support in that period. Because I would come from class, and I would have headaches because German is so intense to learn. So I would come from class after learning for hours, and then I would go into programming.
Yeah.
So 2 intense things to learn for 3 months straight.
Yeah.
Because for me, I felt like I had no choice. There's no way I was losing this job. I must do it.
While trying to find for an apartment, because we had to move.
At some point, yeah.
At some point, we had to move.
An unplanned move.
Yeah.
I got a job, so we had to start planning to move.
Yeah. And so we started planning to move. There was a lot going on. Also had to tell our church that we would move.
That was not fun.
That was not fun at all. Mm-hmm. So there was like a lot of changes that came, and so like it was wild. I didn't even know, and it was all this happened while Christmas season, which was in my working place the busiest season ever, because I was working as a seller, and Christmas season was like I would work 7 days a week. I would do extra shifts, extra hours, whatever.
There were days
but
like crash.
I would be so exhausted, because literally the whole store would be so full of people you wouldn't be even able to walk through. You would have to shout from one end of the store to the other, because it was so intense in that store. And so like I had this, and we had to try to find an apartment too. It was wild.
Yep.
It was wild. It was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. So I remember it was quite intense that time. That was really intense.
Mm-hmm.
That was our second year being married.
Yes. Yeah. That was the second year. Yeah. It was quite intense. And in 3 months' time, I had learned how to program at least to a reasonable level.
Yeah.
To be able to work with it.
Mm.
And yeah, started working. We actually got an apartment, thank God.
Via Skype.
Via Skype, we had to do like the visit of the apartment via
Mm.
video because it was so far away and we did not want to go there. We had checked other apartments and we're not like they were not given to us.
Yeah.
Other people were selected for it, and so we're just tired of traveling for nothing.
Mm.
So we're like, any house we see now, we're gonna see online, and if we get it, we don't get it. If not, and so we actually saw this beautiful apartment, and then we had a video call, and they just went for us somehow. They canceled other people that had been there in person.
That same day, because she was telling me that she would call me the other day, like another day, the following week. And that same day, within like an hour or two, she called back and she was like, "We're so excited about you guys, that you were so excited about this. We just felt like it was right, and so we want to give it to you." And we're like, "What?" And that was like 2-3 weeks before we
had to move.
Like,
it's quite close, yeah.
It was really close and intense. I mean, I thank God we did not, at that point in time, have not kids or anything, because that would have added to a lot of.
That would have been too intense.
Yeah. But we had a lot to do, and it was crazy. I can't even. Sometimes it's hard for me to fathom really how everything went down. It was long nights. Let us just say like that. It was just long, sleepless nights, because we also renovated, and then we wanted to leave that nice apartment that we lived in and had good connections to the owners, landlords. So we felt like, okay, we wanted to just
leave the place good.
Yeah, leave the place good.
Yes.
And so it was really intense. But yeah, then finally moved into that nice apartment, which was a real upgrade from us. We were like,
so we went.
This is big.
We went from living in a small room in the attic where I couldn't stand straight.
Yeah.
To living in a slightly bigger room where I could stand straight. And then we moved from that room into a small apartment where we had at least an extra room and the living room.
Like our bedroom and a living room. We called this in Germany a 2-room apartment.
Yeah. And then we moved into a bigger apartment where we had like 3 or 4 rooms. I think 4.5 based on the calculation.
Based on their calculation was 4.5. In the bathroom was like really nice.
Nice with a bathtub.
Really nice bathtub, really nice shower. It was just very, very nice. The only thing that was missing, which we at that point really didn't really need it, but eventually, was missing, was a balcony or like garden. But our both kids were born there.
Yeah.
I mean, not in the house, but
thank God not.
But yeah, it was a real. I sometimes miss it. It was real. It was our first or second real home with the kids. We had like a kids' room, a really nice bedroom, and office.
My wife, like that's the thing about my wife. Everywhere we go, she tries to turn the place into a beautiful home. Like she makes a place a home. So she's a designer, so she just transformed the whole place. It had some ugly paint in some parts of the places, and so she had to repaint it, made it look so nice. So even here in the caravan, you can see it's all white around us. It was not white before.
It was all brown.
It's all brown wood and also looked a bit old.
Yeah.
So it was my wife's idea to paint it white and just,
I mean, even the lamps weren't there.
Do some designs with the lamps and everything.
Yeah.
And of course, it's like a combined effort. But like the idea is hers, and she just has an eye for interior design.
Yeah.
And so like she does that everywhere we go, which is awesome. So basically, I get to buy the stuff, and then she gets to transform it into
Thank you,
a
honey.
livable space.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
So in case you're looking for an interior designer, that's what I'm trying to say.
Holla at me. Holla at me. Holla at me.
Interior designer.
Artist /
Artist.
interior designer. I even do some paintings. So
No joke. Like,
just
she is
let
good.
me know.
Like, you know, I'm trying to downplay
People
it.
that know me,
She's good. So
they've gotten
in
maybe
case
something
you're
around.
looking for someone, just write us at ebonyandruth@gmail.com.
.com.
You know, we can talk.
All right.
But anyway, that was a short advertisement for my wife.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, so we moved to to the apartment, and by the time I started working there, I didn't even know how much knowledge I had gained,
Yeah.
like programming knowledge.
That the person even that you work with.
They thought I had been doing this for a while. After I started, they were like, "Wow, you're really good at this stuff." I'm like, like, so you studied the whole thing, huh? I'm like, huh? I mean, studied in a way, but
But you went to work, came back, and continued studying
oh yeah, I did.
for several months later.
Yes.
You didn't
I didn't just
stop
stop,
at
no.
3 months. You continued, and
Even after I started working, yeah.
even now you continue
I still learn.
learning, because it's like that's the fun about this programming life, that you continue with learning, and you continue with learning this language, that language, and it's like it's crazy.
It's a journey.
It keeps you young. If you have to constantly learn and add to your knowledge, it's amazing. It's admirable.
Yeah, but how was it for you? Because you had to do a lot of the work at the beginning. I mean, now it was always my dream to be able to be the one that works and she doesn't have to. And by God's grace, we were able to do that. We were able to do that for the first few years, and now having, our own company, at least we work for our own company in that sense.
Yeah.
But how was it for you in the beginning, working? And it was a roller coaster of emotions, traveling and moving to new places.
I think. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you can.
I think it was just. I think first of all, it was really hard for me to come back to Germany.
Oh yeah, that's the point to go. Yeah,
I was crying my eyes off because I did not want to come back to Germany. I was done. I was really done. I was like, never ever anymore gonna go back to Germany, and not even exactly here in this corner. And that's exactly where I ended up. So I was like really frustrated about this whole idea of being back in Germany and actually being in this corner. I don't know. A lot of factors, but I would say mainly because of the culture. Maybe I'm albino. I don't know. Maybe I'm a Nigerian albino. Who knows? But it's a very cold culture. And I think once I got married to you, I experienced how racist Germans can be, especially when it comes to papers and bureaucracy and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I was just so fed up of the people here, and the life here, and I just always felt like, okay, my heart is for nations, and my heart was for living in different countries. And for me, I was like, I'm done. I'm like, why should I come back to Germany? What is it that is here? So for me, coming back to Germany was like settling in new for me too, in a way, because I didn't expect to come back. I was like, my idea was to stay in Sweden and just study in Sweden and then stay in Sweden, or even I was even begging my husband to go to Nigeria and stay in Nigeria. Like, why can't we stay in Nigeria? Because for me, I just did not want to stay in Germany. I think I was always for people here in Germany, I was always the Swedish person, and in Sweden, I was always a German person. So for me, it was somehow always hard to just fit in. And then also, yeah, it's yeah. I mean, there's some people that love it, and there's some people that just don't love it. And for me, I'm that kind of person that, yeah, I will talk English outside of this country, and whoever tells me that they're German, I'll be like, I'm Swedish. Peace out.
Yeah, she didn't really want to. She didn't really want to
be identified,
accept or be
although
identified as a German.
which I think is getting better, and
Definitely.
now more and more I accept that I'm German in a lot of ways. I'm very much German. I started speaking German with my children. More, of course, not as much as people here in this room would want me to. But I'm really trying to get better in speaking German, and realizing that I'm German in a lot of ways. And I'm accepting that, and I'm getting more and more okay with it, and saying, okay, God, whatever you want from me here, and how long you want me here, I don't mind. Like, I'm just gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the first thing that was really major for me, like going back to Germany, finding my foot. And then of course I was always the daughter of those that
lost their
house
in the fire,
or like tragic stuff happening to our families or whatever. So somehow it was just too many memories. And then like the town that we live in, I don't know if I would say Lörrach is a city.
I mean, it's becoming more
and more a city, but at that time it was a town. And once you go to school there, everybody will know you. You just cross and you just know everybody. And it's just, I don't know, I just didn't like it, that feeling of everybody knowing me. And so, yeah, that was like the major thing. So I was quite happy when we were like, oh yeah, let's move to Karlsruhe.
Yeah.
Area. I was like quite excited, nervous because it was away from my parents, like from my family that I really liked and loved the most. And so somehow it was strange for me, but then also not strange because we already had this, I don't know, just the traveling missionary life anyway. So for me, it didn't really matter much, but it was new and also hard in a way because I didn't have friends. We didn't have a church. So it was just us, which is good. And I think in this whole journey of us, we learned that we can rely on each other and we can be there for each other. We're not just like lovers or wife and husband. We just best friends, buddies. Like we don't need a lot of friends. Like we have a few friends, but we don't need a lot of friends because somehow our best friend is just next to each other. And so that helped us through this whole journey.
It did.
Just
so we're married in 2016, moved to Karlsruhe in 2019 January, and then that was the same year that you got
pregnant. I mean, it was a journey because then you start working, I started working as a waitress a lot, and then at some point, was it April, around that time we were like, okay, let's just
calculate,
something around then, because I remember I was pregnant May already.
Yeah, because
May,
Jason
June,
was
July,
born,
August,
born
September,
in February,
October, November, December.
The next year,
January, February. Yeah, around May, June.
Yep.
So yeah, we like, okay, let's pray for a child. Because since you have, and everybody was asking us.
Oh.
Everybody was asking us. My whole Nigerian family was just asking, like to the point where like, tell them, honey.
I mean, like they knew that we had been married for quite a bit, and it's quite normal that people would have their first kid a year or two after being married.
Yeah.
And by this time, we were approaching 4 years of being married, but no kid. And so we had people from our church and also from home, they were thinking that we were struggling to to conceive, not knowing that it was actually planned, that we didn't want to give birth in this period of uncertainty when we're not really sure about work, finances, where we were.
Before we
wanted
left,
to even build stuff, before we would bring
Yeah.
a kid
Yeah.
into that life.
and built our relationship as well,
Mhm.
because we just got married very fast, and so for us it was like important that we would have like a foundation was strong. And so it was funny because even when we left Lara, people were like, there's never a perfect time to have a child. And then people like asking us if they can already start praying for us and all this kind of things. And, your mom was like, is everything okay?
Yeah, mom was like, "Yeah, is everything good?" I'm like, no, right now it's intentional. We want to get a job first before we start thinking about having a child, because we need the finances for that. And so she was like, okay, she understood the job part. So the moment I got a job,
She got you.
she called me. She was like, okay, so now you have a job.
Where's
So
my grandchild?
so what's going on? I'm like, yeah, we are, we're trying now to, it's like trying. What do you mean by trying? Just do it.
She was literally just saying, just do it. You know how to do it.
What do
I
you
don't
mean-
have to explain anything.
What do you mean by trying? You're trying, you just tried. So okay, I was like the first Nike motivation I got, like just do it. So
So we started
um,
praying. We
I
did
mean,
like a 5-day fast.
did we? I can't
Yeah.
remember that part.
We did 5 days. I can remember that very clearly because we did a 5 days fast.
It's fast.
I wanted to say Passover. wrong, wrong thing. I wanted to say we did a 5-day fast
Mm-hmm.
and a prayer. And genau. No, I'm getting tired. I'm sorry, guys.
So let me just take over. We did the 5 days fasting and prayer because we really wanted to be intentional as regards, the baby that we would bring into the world.
Our
And
children.
God plays a very huge role, the number one role in our lives. So you're gonna hear us mention him a lot. That's just who we are. We're believers, and we really value our relationship
Yeah, with God.
with God. So we wanted to pray, make sure that we're doing everything right, and then
Make
We
sure
did
that
it.
we do everything.
we did it.
Make everything right.
And then we did it,
And then we did
and-
it. No. On the 5th day, he was like, so since we prayed for 5 days, does that mean that we are praying for 5 children? I looked at him. I'm like, are you serious? Are you very serious?
But that didn't take a long time before she conceived. So
It was
I
very
guess
fast.
I'm gifted. So but
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, people.
I was like, yeah, well, that was not a struggle at all.
Let's just say like that. Both are mothers, are very fertile.
Yeah, and they transferred the fertility to us.
Yes. So people say after like finishing your pill,
Oh yeah, she was on the pill,
I was on the pill, birth control pill.
birth control pill. So the
Just-
birth control was intentional.
Yeah.
So we're thinking,
So like normally they say after birth control pill, it can take sometimes up to half a year for you to be able to conceive. It took a month. Yeah. 1 month. And I conceived. It was crazy. Oh, you were so excited. Oh, so excited.
magic. Yeah, it was.
It was we were in cloud 9 and it was just I always loved being pregnant. Of course the second pregnancy is always different, but I always loved being pregnant. It really, really looked nice.
Oh yeah, you did. She got a lot of compliments. Beautiful pregnant woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really liked. It's just something really. for those that haven't experienced it, it's hard for men to for women to describe it for a man is really hard because it's just such an undescribable thing and such a bond also that you have to your child. It's just crazy. And just being able to experience that, I'm just thankful. I'm
Yeah.
just so full of
I mean, there are a lot of
gratitude.
women that have like they don't really have a very good pregnancy
Yeah,
experience. So the fact that you had a good one is also
it was really good. But yeah, in the same year, we still went to Nigeria, 2019.
while pregnant. Yes,
While pregnant, went there. Of course, everybody was like super careful and like, oh yeah, please don't go out there and that. And so we didn't go to any,
they were protective of you
grandparents.
as a
Yeah,
pregnant person. Yeah. So, but it was a good experience.
it
My
was a
wife
good.
was just living on suya and masa
Yes, so
every day. Suya and
yes,
masa.
so
Man, she was just eating.
not just me, Jason too, in my belly. After that 2 weeks, my belly grew.
She was like, and it was so spicy.
Oh, it was so good.
She would have
Yes.
like a running stomach. Then the next day she'll continue eating the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, in my mind, when we were about to travel to Nigeria, I was thinking, oh wow, I get to go back and eat my suya by myself without having to share with anybody because apparently I thought I married a white lady, a German lady, but I was mistaken. Somehow I married an albino, because she's like white on the outside but black on the inside somehow, like African on the inside. So
Sorry, but that's
we
so.
got to Nigeria and we're dragging suya. This lady was eating more suya than me. And if you don't know what suya is grilled meat with a lot of spice.
Oh,
A lot of, when I say spice, I mean chili,
I'm
pepper,
salivating
chili, like
already.
hot chili over it. It's bathed in hot chili. So it's not for the faint of heart or people that can handle
No, but
handle spices.
it's
So it was spicy for her. She was like, but it tastes so good. So she was just eating the whole thing. And it's not cheap to buy suya because those meats are not like mass produced or anything. They're like slaughtered and killed. Like everything is
bio.
pie. I don't even know how to describe for
In German, the German way would be like farmer.
for Nigerians. They're like, what the heck is bio? Of course, it's biological. What do you mean bio?
No, but like it's good meat because you know where the meat is coming from.
Oh yeah, because
And
Germans
so-
they separate between chemically
mass produced
mass produced
and
meat
farmer.
and farmed meat. They call the farmed meat
Yeah.
bio.
Yeah.
So
No, not every, but yeah,
yeah, but I don't know.
whatever.
But anyway, so everything is natural from the farmer, from the shepherd or whoever
Mm.
bred the animals, and so it's not cheap. But she wanted to eat it every night,
It's so
suya
good.
and masa. So it
Even
was
when you
nice.
talk about it, whew, my
Salivating.
I'm telling you that love that I have for suya masa is very inseparable, and it's that one place because I've tried like many places now in Abuja, but it's that one place,
In town, you mean?
in town across the mosque, that suya place. That's the best. Let me tell you, people, if you're living close by Abuja, you better run. You better run. You pick up your slippers and you better run to that place. That suya enter. It will enter your soul. I'm telling you, like seriously, this suya is insane. It's so good. Like, I'm just trying to swallow saliva. It's so
Already
good.
imagine all the taste and everything.
No, seriously, it's just so good. It's like because they grill it very specially. They have a special kind of wood also that they use,
Mm-hmm.
and so that is smoke
Yeah,
and the suffering
and the suffering and everything combines together.
It's just tastes so good.
To
But
make the
also
taste.
that place that we tried last year.
So I mean, we went there in 2019, came back.
Yeah.
We had Jason
Yes. Sorry.
in 2020. And then we,
Lost job. You forgot
yeah,
about that.
yeah, I forget about that. That I mean, I lost my job
In
because
January.
of Corona, because that was the same year
I
Corona
mean,
happened.
you lost your job. Your first contract expired in January. Your first job that you got.
2020.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2020.
So I didn't have a job when did I have a job? No,
In January.
I
And
did.
then you started another job until April. And then in April, meanwhile, like I gave birth the same morning. Like I gave birth at 1 a.m.
In February
in February on the
26th.
26th.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was quiet in that hospital. Nobody else was giving birth. It was just me, which was lovely. It was a really nice, in that sense, nice experience. Sorry. But yeah, that same morning at 7, he woke up and drove to work. Like, it was crazy because he was still in Probetzeit. So trial
I was still in
month,
the trial period.
trial period. And so yeah, you were going to to your work, and my mom would come and then stay with me in the hospital for like 2-3 days, and you come after work to the hospital and see us, and everything was crazy what you did.
I mean, I experienced the whole childbirth process, so that was
Holla
something.
at you. Seriously, you
So
amazing.
I actually had to hold a head at some point. I'm not sure, but it was like a whole process. And so lost my
Bless you.
job that same year because of Corona and everything.
Yeah.
And so it was a whole process in 2021. No, 2021? No, but in the same
In the same
year,
year.
you got pregnant again.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but you got
So
pregnant again.
wait, so you lost your job in April,
Yeah.
did a study, like a
You did like a
Umschulung,
training. Yeah.
training. Um, I went to Sweden in that summer. You started a new job in August 2020. And then by the time, wait, that was, yeah, by the time in like around September, October, I found out that I
And
wasn't
she
feeling
was
well. And he was like, oh, yes, probably could have corona, make a corona test or something.
I was hoping
Like,
that she had corona because that was a period that she had that corona was everywhere. So I was hoping that she had it because I wasn't ready for another child yet because I was holding Jason. Jason was still 10 months old. 10 months old. I still remember. Very also little Jason, you know. So she was like, I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna take a pregnancy test. So she took it. Apparently she took it twice. Then came to me and was like, I'm pregnant. I was like, go do it again. Go take it again. I think the test result is wrong. So I was praying, Father, let it be corona or whatever. So, but she comes up like, yeah, I did it again, and it's positive. And I was just shocked, and I was holding Jason. I was like, I am finished.
I'm done. With this Nigerian accent, I was like,
I am
Father,
finished.
I am done.
So, how long was I quiet for?
Like 2 days. He had to take like at least 1-2 days
To
to just process because he didn't want to say anything wrong, which I understand. But for me, I was like, oh my God. It was awkward. It was weird because I don't know. Like at that point where it was both our fault. So
I was like, this stupid sperm. What rubbish? Who sent you? Who sent you?
That stupid egg of yours. Why did it receive my sperm? What? No, seriously. So it was both our faults, and in that sense, we just didn't knew.
But you were on the.
Yeah, the funny fact, I was on birth control pill. So, yeah.
So basically, the sperm escaped all the pills.
Let me tell you guys, we were very fertile. Like we
were very fertile. This just went from story time to fertility.
I'm sorry, guys.
Testimony.
This is a very interesting podcast.
Into every detail, guys.
Into every single
Yeah.
spermy detail. Welcome to that.
Welcome to
another episode of
Ebony
Pillow
and Ruth
Talk.
where we tell you every spermy detail.
I think it's gonna be my favorite word.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I processed it for 2 days, and of course, for us, abortion is not even an
option. Not at all.
Not at all. So okay, so we have a second child coming.
But this time around, we waited actually for people to know, because with Zane, we actually let people. With Jason. Sorry, we actually did the test with Jason, and people were actually staying at our place, and those girls, and the woman, our sisters there, they found out, and so they found out the same day. So I wasn't even pregnant for very long at that point in time.
They were excited,
but yeah, they were very excited. Everyone was very, very excited. So we actually told people very early
with the first child.
With the first child,
Jason.
Second Zane. We waited. We waited a little bit, like till October or something.
I don't know.
November, October. November, December. Yeah. Because we found out like October, November or something, and then waited for my parents at least till December. Mm-hmm. Because we told it on Christmas. You remember?
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
We gave them the pregnancy test. My mom was about to open. Do you remember?
Let's just spare the detail. Because the mom wasn't sure what it was. Okay, the reason is this. She has an issue with her sight, vision. So she has to bring things really close to see what it is. So, but she is like the smartest person ever, still doing a lot with.
She's so smart.
With very little vision. So she brought the test very close. She's like, "What is this?" And she almost wanted to smell it.
So open the part where you pee on, she wanted to open it, and I was like, "No, Mom, no, don't open it! Stop!" Like screaming.
So she now just looked at it, like, "Oh, it's a pregnancy test," and so they were very excited for the second child coming, and so that's how we actually shared the news about baby Zane, and he came the next year. He arrived in August 12th.
But at that point in time, in January, you lost your job again.
Yes, lost my job twice.
Yeah.
Within a year or two. Mm. And this was in between receiving a kid and expecting another one. So the uncertainty was crazy.
Yeah, it was just Corona hit us, and that
Corona period was tough.
Was tough for us because we were also very lonely in a way, because we did not, like, as a mother, you imagined, oh yeah, you're going to go to kids and mama group, and you're going to meet all the other mothers and mummies with the babies, and you can go to swimming classes with little babies and all this kind of stuff. You couldn't do. You were just stuck at home. And in Germany, it was very strict. Very, very, very strict. And so it was really hard. It was really hard for us.
It was tough.
It was really tough. And so, you lost your job.
Period people were fighting over toilet paper. Yeah. Of all things.
We were like, no, not us. We were fighting about survival.
Toilet paper and flour. I'm like... I'm struggling in my job, and they're fighting over toilet paper. Yeah. But anyway, that was a very interesting time.
We had peace in this whole time.
Oh yeah, I actually had more peace when I didn't have a job than when I had one.
Yeah, we were so peaceful about this whole thing, and we somehow knew that God is going to provide. And not once did I tell you that I'm scared, even when I was pregnant or I just gave birth or anything like that. I would always encourage you and I always say, okay, hey, of course you have your moments one of the days, you always have your moments where you're emotional, you feel like, okay, this is weird. But there was hardly a time where I didn't encourage you and I was like, hey, this is not, you should get a job and, that kind of wife. No, but I really believe that God is in control. And so that was really helping us. If we wouldn't have had faith in this whole process, it would have been really hard for us. And so, yeah.
But yeah, lost my job twice.
In
January. And then
got a job again in April, not?
Got a job in April. My previous company miraculously called me.
Yeah.
Said, hey, we need you back. Yeah. Someone is leaving and we need your skills.
Yeah.
These are skills that I actually gathered during the training period when I was jobless. So I went to train.
Yeah.
So those same skill set they needed, they called me back and offered me a very good offer.
Yeah.
I had like 2 job offers to pick from.
Yeah.
That was a miracle on its own.
We're about to move back to Lerach, actually.
So I was able to pick the job, and we're very excited about it. And Zane was born
in
August that same year. And then the next,
which was a miracle in itself.
Oh yeah,
because that baby was huge.
5.4 kilograms.
5.4 kilograms and 61 centimeters long. I was pushing and pushing and pushing. I was like, when is this kid gonna come out? And it just took 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. While Jason's birth was over 30-something hours.
Yeah, but it was also on and off, so I didn't have constant contractions. Yeah. But with him, it was just from no contractions to birth, just 2 hours. That's it. Yeah. And it was so an easy birth in that sense. God really helped us, and it was such a cool experience. For me, it was like, oh, if every birth experience can be like that, I don't mind having more kids.
Yeah. And the thing is this, I wanted to actually mention something as regards to job. Because of how many times I lost my job, I developed a phobia or fear of losing my job. Yeah. So when I got the new one, which is like a miracle by itself, I was always afraid of, when will they fire me?
Yeah.
Or when will they let me go? And something I felt like God was telling me at the beginning of starting the job was like, no, I'm giving you this job to give you rest as regards this fear you have. Time will come when you will leave this job, but they will not fire you. You will fire them. You will let them go.
Yeah.
Because of what I'm, having stuff for you. So I was like, me let them go. Never. Such a good pay. Had a company car.
Yeah.
Like, it was so nice.
It was very nice.
When I say company car, I mean a nice car,
a
BMW, like a very blacked out
X3
BMW that was so nice and everything. So, the miracle about the whole thing is that at some point, I was able to tell the company, fire them, say, I don't want to work here anymore.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do my own thing. And now we have our own company.
Yeah.
So the miracle all through these years is just crazy. And that was last year. We went to Nigeria again.
Yeah.
The whole family.
Yeah. And
that was when you caught malaria for the first time.
Yeah.
Funny, the previous time you didn't catch anything. This time around, you caught malaria. And it was you, Jason, Zane, myself. You felt it the most, though.
Yeah. That was not fun. It wasn't fun. But yeah. That's another story for another time. But I think it's just to look back where we came from and how we settled in Germany and all the trials that we had. Like, people go half of that what we went through and just already exhausted and burnt out. But that God just gave us so much grace and understanding to fight for our marriage too, and to fight for what He has called us to do. What we're doing right now also, how we're living is just crazy, and what we're doing. And so God is just providing everything, and it's just amazing to see how He's so good, and how you think, and you don't even pray for it, you just wish it, and then the next day it's just, you're just like, wait, what? I didn't even pray for it. And you just make it happen. And He just wants to see your obedience. All He wants is just to see and hear you yes.
Yep.
If I would call you, would you say yes? If I would do this. Would you say yes? And that's the thing. Like, he wants our heart. He wants not just a little bit of it. He just doesn't want like everything, like a tiny bit. He wants everything. He wants the whole you. And he deserved everything also, like, because he gave his everything. Yeah. And like understanding that throughout the years, that when you trust in the Lord and you trust that he's in control, and it just makes you so much more peaceful and restful. Because you don't have to worry about tomorrow. You just know today and tomorrow has its own worries. And so like that really helped throughout the years. And then also having a strong bond in Christ and just know, okay, we can pray together. We can serve together. We can do this together, even when it's hard and tough. And I think that's just something to end this, maybe this podcast, in a way, to just say thank you, God, for this, because without him, we wouldn't be here. Without him, we wouldn't even have the opportunity to do this podcast, or, you know, living where we are, or having different projects, or even dreaming of having an own company. Like, all this is because of him. And I'm just so grateful to have two wonderful sons, an amazing husband that is, you know, working his butt off to just get us where we are in right now. And so just thank you, God. Seriously, thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus, if you're listening.
If you're listening, of course it's listening.
If you tuned into our podcast, we thank you.
Yeah.
So
that's another episode of the podcast. There's always a lot of things to share, but we're taking it bit by bit.
Yeah. We are crumbling down with the cookie.
So yeah,
one bite after another.
So please subscribe if you haven't yet.
Yes, so
like, follow,
subscribe,
and share when you can.
I beg.
Stay tuned.
Yes, so.
And press the notification bell so you're notified every time we post new content.
Exactly.
Yes, and that's the podcast for today.
With tons of laughter.
Yeah.
And joy.
We look forward to seeing you in the next episode.
Yes.
Of Ebony and Ruth.
Ebony and Ruth podcast. Peace out. Bye-bye. Adios, amigas. Buongiorno. Oh, that was a rumor.